Welcome back to the I'm Just Saying podcast. Bobby, Nico, and Sean here. Firstly, how y'all doing, man?
Steph Curry, the best basketball player in the world.
I didn't know that was a way to feel, but okay.
That's how I'm starting off.
How you
know
doing?
me, man. I'm cool, chilling. Allen Iverson still the GOAT.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. Make sure y'all check out the previous episode if you haven't already. But we're gonna hop right into this. So one thing we've been meaning to discuss for a while is the best playoff runs, whether it's by a whole team or individual, specifically one you can remember from your lifetime. Bobby, I'm gonna let you get started first because I know you've been wanting to talk about this for a while.
Boy, let me tell you. I'll give you two individuals. I'll give you the player and I'll give you the team. For the team, I'll go one that's fresh in my mind from that everybody should remember. That 2018 Cavalier playoff run by LeBron.
I knew you was finna say LeBron.
Bro, to me, that was the single greatest playoff run I have ever seen by one person. To me, he dragged them kicking and screaming all the way to the finals. And to me, every series you can say that he had no business making it that far. First of all, let me give you some context. First of all, remember the season before that they had Kyrie. Kyrie dipped off for whatever reasons to go to Boston. Remember they had added to replace Kyrie. It was Isaiah Thomas, Dwayne Wade, D Rose, all of them. For whatever reasons, by the All-Star break, it didn't happen. So remember, I think right before the All-Star game, they just cleaned house and just got rid of everybody. So instead of all them washed-up All-Stars that they had, they gave him Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, basically half the role players that was on the Lakers at the time. They sent them to the Cavaliers. And Brown was like, you know what? I'm hoping with what I got. I remember an interview he said it just like that. They finished that season losing one less game than they did the year before when they had Kyrie and all that. They went from 51 to 50 wins. To me, that's an accomplishment of itself. When you think about all the talent that he had lost and what he got back instead. Then they go see the Pacers, which is basically the same Pacers team that they got now, but they had a prime Victor Oladipo. They beat them in 7.
Here's that Indiana really won but got cheated out of.
I wouldn't go that far because if you talk about that block at the end of the game, that was legit. If you ask me.
Okay, bias.
I wouldn't say it was biased, but hey, so they beat them in 7. Then they see the number one seed Raptors.
LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron. He see them. Now I ain't gonna lie, LeBron the GOAT to me. But I thought that was the end of the Cinderella run. I thought that was it. I thought he was gonna lose. I thought that was it. I was like, at the most, he get a game or two. But this is where the story ends, and he sweeps the number one seed Raptors. So then we got that. I'm like, okay. Now he's seeing Boston. Remember, this is when Boston, they wasn't like they are today. Boston was like a force back then. Remember that whole year?
Kyrie was hurt, right?
Yeah. Remember that whole year, it was gearing up to be Boston versus Golden State. Like, this was the matchup everybody was expecting. Even without Kyrie, we were still on course for Boston versus Golden State. Because they was the only team that could match up with Golden State at that present moment. At least in the East, anyway. He beat them in 7. But to me, how I knew they was going to win Game 7, a lot of people don't pay attention to stuff like this, but I do. Kyrie was on the bench for that whole series. But Game 7, they say he didn't even show up. To me, that told me Kyrie already knew what was coming. So then they beat them in 7. To me, that certified to me he was the GOAT. At that point, I was like, you know what? It's official. Bron can take any. He can take all us right now to the finals if he wanted to. I feel like. Then they get to Golden State. Everybody knew they didn't have no shot. But the way he was hooping that whole playoff run, I'm like, hey, anything is possible. He get them 51. They low-key on the verge of beating at least them in that first game. And they would have won if J.R. Smith don't give the game back. But I'm not going to touch that because I'm low-key still upset with J.R. Smith.
George Hill missed
Don't leave out George Hill.
It's not just my boy JR fault.
Oh, no, I was going to get to George Hill, too, because if you go back and watch him 2 free throws, he looked petrified at the free throw line. He wanted no parts of them free throws. No part. You saw the fear in his eyes. But I feel like if them two ain't mess it up, they get that first game. They don't win the series, I don't believe.
Hell
Not at
no.
all.
But like it changes the perception if they get that one. But to me, they still got that one in my eyes because, like I said, they gave it back. If you ask me, so to me, that right there, I feel like no one else in the history of NBA can do what he did for that series. I feel like if you put Jordan, Kobe on that same squad, they go out in the first round. If you put like Steph, they go out probably first round too. KD, same thing. I feel like that series, that whole playoff run was a LeBron masterpiece from start to finish. For the greatest individual team run is easily the 2011 Mavs. Easily. I told you about them before. They ran that gauntlet of the best teams.
The best players and the best teams, man. Best players of all time.
To me, that was the single most difficult ring that no one expected them to get ever. He beat the defending champion Lakers in the first round. They sweep them. He beat OKC.
No. They beat Portland in the first round.
No. They beat Portland in the second round. They beat the Lakers in the first round.
No. Yeah, he right. It was Portland first because the Lakers beat New Orleans the first round and went to go against Dallas the second round.
You should have the year before? Yeah. I think that was the year before.
I'm 100% sure, and I'm gonna tell you about when we get to another one of our topics. But I'm pretty sure. I'm 100% sure it was Portland in the first round.
Either way, your boy got swept.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, swept.
And I know they beat Portland after that. I think about 5 games. They beat the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals like real quick. Like they got them out of there like quick. Like they look like they didn't even deserve to be there with them, which is crazy because they beat the Thunder beat them the next year after that. They're not the same way. So like it's crazy how much a year makes. Then they get to the finals versus the Heat. Everybody and their grandma expected the Heat to run through them. And not only do they win convincingly. Like the Heat made not even he, but that team looked like the Heat didn't deserve to be on the same court as them, if you ask me. Which was shocking to me because if you remember the Heat's path to that finals, they beat everybody in 5 games. They beat Philly in 5 first round. They beat Boston shockingly in 5 games. Like they dismantled them. And then they beat my Bulls with MVP Rose. Killed everybody in Chicago because I just knew he was gonna win that series.
Right, we was whooping their ass in the regular season.
We was killing them. I still remember that layup D Rose hit on a Sunday afternoon where he had Braun on his left, D Wade on his right, and he went with the left.
I love that.
They fell down and he get to talking crazy, and I'm like, oh yeah, we winning the whole thing. We don't fit them boys. They killed us in the playoffs or whatever. So to me,
LeBron on D Rose, it was over with.
I ain't even gonna touch that because I'm low-key still hurt about that. Because you're gonna put a 6'3" linebacker, not 6'8" linebacker on D Rose. Like that blew.
I was there, man.
That blew me.
Clipped the MVP. I bet he did.
He should have.
All he was doing, because he got the athleticism to keep up with Derrick Rose at that time. So all he would do was just put his hip in the way. All that strength LeBron got is stopping Derrick Rose right in the tracks.
And he couldn't move. But LeBron had good feet. Good footwork. If he got about like 7 inches on you, so it's like you're not getting by him.
He's stronger than you.
Yep. So yeah, they exposed my boy in a way I ain't appreciate. I'm still low key bitter, but
I don't consider that an exposed. Like that's what goes on if you put a bigger player on a smaller player.
Well, I ain't gonna say he got exposed, but that team did because it shows that if D Rose can't get going, we ain't got nothing going. But low key, we knew that, but we didn't know how bad it was to that series because we made it so far without a secondary score. But it is what it is. But like I said, Dirk and the Mavs. No one gives Jason Terry the credit I feel like he deserved for that series too because Jason Terry could have very easily won the Finals MVP. Because I feel like they gave it to Dirk just because of what he did the whole postseason run. But to me, that series, Jason Terry was the one that was the MVP because he was absolutely serving it. It was players LeBron couldn't even check him, and he tried to. But to me, that's like I said, they ran the gauntlet of the best teams in the league, the whole top 10 players in the league, all in one postseason run. To me, that's the hardest ring I've ever seen personally. I know it's some. I was talking about OG about it a couple of days ago.
I agree, bro. I agree with one superstar on your team, and he up in age. I definitely got to agree on that one. and they beat, like you said, the best players in the game.
Yeah, like I know that LeBron 3-1 ring, people say that's the greatest ring ever, but like to me, they only getting credit for that for one series. I'm talking about it for a whole totality of the postseason run.
Dirk will always be remembered for the nigga that stopped LeBron in that first year.
I'd be so happy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that
But
shit
have you
had me.
really thinking LeBron? Because I remember I used to always say, man, LeBron ain't never gonna get no ring. And when Dirk won, I was like, oh shit, I'm right.
He said LeBron will never get no ring. You sound like a fool.
But you don't understand how deeply my hate ran for that man.
That don't make no sense.
At the time, I wasn't messing with him either, bro. I wasn't. I liked LeBron, but I didn't like the Miami Heat. So for me, man, you don't know how happy I was, man. I had a homie that was a LeBron James fan too, so he was talking shit. You don't know how happy I was.
Oh, I know I was. I was pissed. I lost money when Dirk won that ring.
You love to see it.
Nah, I'm looking still salty.
What about
I'm
you?
still
Nico?
salty.
What playoff runs come to your mind?
And you better not say Iverson in 2001, because I'll cut this off.
Oh, that's a great one. That's a great one. But nah, that's not it. Of course, I'm gonna go with the Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard getting the ring, killing the East, averaging 30, having one of the best playoff series of all time. We talked about this a few weeks ago. He one of the 6 players in NBA history to, I think, score like 800 points in the playoffs, 700 points in one single playoffs. That tell you right there, bro. Tell you right there. It's one of the 6 best playoff runs individually as a player. So when you go back to the teams they went against, they kind of was overmatched every series other than the Orlando series. Philly, you would say Philly probably was a better team with Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler. They beat them 7 games. We all remember the shot. Milwaukee Bucks, everybody picked Giannis to win. What happened? Kawhi Leonard show us who the best player in the game at that time. And then he beat the Warriors. We know we had some injuries, but you got to go out there and play, and
Some
whatever in the record
injuries.
books is what happened.
Right, hey, you saw he did that like that? Some injuries. They missed
Some injuries.
What you
Some
mean?
injuries, man. They had a brick. When you
It's
got
just KD, you know.
when you
Just Klay Thompson.
got the Avengers all on one team, y'all should be able to deal with those little few injuries. But at the end of the day,
What?
Kawhi Leonard got it done. You know I'm just playing, man. Of course, Kevin Durant.
It's your world. It's your world. I'm just
Kevin
listening.
Durant, Clay, Hobble, DeMarcus Cousins. Of course, they gonna lose. But they the mighty Warriors, and a win is a win. We talked about this last week when it comes to the win is a win in the playoffs. So I'm gonna always put that Kawhi series up there because he looked like a mini Michael Jordan, a mini Kobe Bryant that whole playoffs. Then another one I'm gonna mess with is the Cleveland 06-07 when LeBron went to the finals.
That's 08, right?
Went crazy on Detroit, scored like the last 16 points of the Cavs to beat the mighty Detroit Pistons. Like you can't
45 in a row.
That's even better. Beat Washington at in the first round, sweep Washington. Second round, beat the Nets. And then beat the mighty Detroit Pistons. Yeah, they lost to the Spurs, but LeBron James was in his 3rd season, 20 years old, and beat a deep team like that in Detroit and had no help. That's one of the best playoff performances to me also. That game in particular, one of the best performances. And then the last one it's a team one. They didn't really go too far, but it meant a lot to me because one of my favorite players. I love this game. The 06-07 Utah Jazz. They got to the Western Conference Finals. Deron Williams' 2nd year. They beat one of my favorite teams, two of my favorite teams, honestly. They beat Houston in 7 games. I thought T-Mac was going to get out the first round, but Deron Williams and them bust their ass. Golden State, after they beat Dallas, I thought Deron Williams was going to lose again, and he showed up. And then when they went against the almighty Spurs, we know what happened. But it was a nice run. They was a 4th seed. Deron Williams was a 2nd-year point guard. Carlos Boozer went crazy that playoffs. Andre Karolinko went crazy. He was the reason they beat Golden State. So as a team, it was a nice little playoff run for me. Them would be my teams.
I respect that. I mean, we all touched on the Mavericks. I don't even think I need to even bring it up again. That might be the most respected ring in basketball history.
You gotta be.
You gotta respect.
Now,
Yeah,
when you said the Lakers lost in the first round, this is how I know. All right. So in the first round, the Lakers are playing. Were they the Pelicans at the time? Or they were still
playing the Hornets. It was the Hornets.
They were still the Hornets, yeah. And I remember because I was at the hospital and I was walking through the waiting room and the game was on the TV. And this is when I saw Kobe dunk on the Mecca Open for.
Yeah.
And I remember that at the top of my lungs in the waiting room. And everybody was staring at me crazy. That's how I know the Lakers didn't get put out in the first round that year. Because I remember that day like it was yesterday. Everybody was looking at me like, is this nigga serious? We in the hospital. I ain't getting no fuck. I just saw Kobe end somebody's life. Shit. But yeah, that 2011 Mavericks team for sure. Because that Portland team they beat in the first round was crazy. That was the team with Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, Wesley Matthews, Marcus Camby, and Gerald Wallace. Well, that team was stacked.
It was a hobbled Brandon Roy, though. But Brandon Roy went crazy one of them games and bust their ass.
I still run with them on 2K. I ain't gonna lie to you.
And then that was the Kobe, Powell, Odom, Artest Bynum Lakers. So sweeping them. They don't even need the KD Westbrook OKC. Yeah. And then you beat the mighty Big Three in Miami. Even though it is their first year together, I don't care. That's LeBron, D Wade, and Bosh. Like,
no, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
Another one I'm gonna mention is the 01 Lakers. Like, yeah, Shaq and Kobe probably made them the most dominant, but it wasn't sweet for them coming out the West. Even though they whooped everybody's ass, that just speaks to how great that team was.
Didn't they sweep the Spurs that year?
They swept everybody but the Sixers.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, they swept everybody, right.
They swept the Blazers in the first round.
And they played Utah, I think, too.
No, they swept the Blazers in the first round. They played the Kings the next round and swept them. Then they swept the Spurs. And then, AI did the AI shit in game one of the finals. That was the only game they lost that playoffs.
Wait.
Yeah,
what's the AI shit? What's the AI?
Scoring super inefficiently, but getting carried by his defense. So it made his performance look better than it actually was.
Getting carried by his defense. Wow. But continue.
I just wanted to hear that.
What about stepping over Tyrone?
Yeah, that shot was big. I ain't saying that shot wasn't big. I'm just saying the overall performance was shit. He shot terribly from the field.
They got the W.
To
it. Who won?
His defense kept him in the game. But that ain't the point. I digress. And I'll throw Kawhi in there in 2019 as an honorable mention. Only reason it's honorable mention to me because everything he did up to the finals, elite. But if he had to beat a healthy Warriors team, I would have gave it to him. I low-key would have put that over 2011.
I agree.
You beating the Warriors with, like, remember how we talked about when the Warriors picked up KD, how it ruined their depth? So if he got hurt and Clay gets hurt, you have nothing. Wow. You got Steph Curry.
Yep, and it showed. And it definitely showed.
And they put that boxing one on Steph, it was over with. And he was still getting his buckets, though, but come on, man. What else? What Steph was going to do playing with basically the roster he got now?
Basically. A preview of what's to come.
Man. But yeah, I'll throw it in there as an honorable mention, though, because I still think he was going to get his numbers. They would have got their ass swept if you asked me if Golden State was completely healthy, but
I say if he just get Clay and they basically just the 2016 Warriors at that point, they still win that series in about 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think it would have went 7 low key. Toronto was really good that year, especially on defense.
That team matched up really good with Golden State too, low key.
Yeah, long as hell. Defense 1 through 5.
But that's the thing though. They win 6 with basically just Steph. So it's like you get him a consistent, healthy Clay, they winning that in about 5.
You never know. It goes back to like how I was saying with the Cavs in 2015. You never know how adding players into the mix might affect the outcome of other games because they might be off that game and it might cost your team. You just never know.
I feel it.
Yeah, that happened.
I feel it.
That's all I got. The 2011 Mavericks, the 01 Lakers, and Kawhi in 2019. Low-key, I'll throw 09 Kobe in there too, just because I got to get a Kobe in there.
Phoenix when he beat shot over Phoenix, yeah. Just that one series.
No, that's 07. 09 is the year they
oh, that's a title, right? That's a title.
Yeah,
that's a title.
But I'm saying it's not because of who they beat in the finals, though. This is why, like, it's just another honorable mention. It's because in the West, that's the year they beat Utah, they beat Houston, and they beat that Denver team with Melo and Billups. So.
They beat everybody they were supposed to beat.
Okay.
Them was good teams, though.
Just like
but
Cleveland did.
I
But
feel you.
anyway.
Yeah, they did beat everybody. That wasn't a crazy one to me, in my opinion, because like he said, they beat everybody they were supposed
That
to.
wasn't about the team, though. That was about Kobe. That was Kobe averaging
You just wanted to
30
throw
throughout the
Kobe in
playoffs.
that,
Like,
though.
come on, man.
You just want to throw Kobe in
I feel
there.
that. Rest in peace, Bean.
Because they should have won that year.
Anywho.
That was the year we were supposed to get Bron versus Kobe.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's another reason I wanted to bring it up. But I ain't gonna get into that. I'm gonna let that rest for now. All right, so another thing we've been meaning to, on a more positive note, we should be discussing is our favorite NBA moments ever. Like, don't gotta be a playoff thing. It could be regular season, from the most random year, from the most random player. Does anything that sticks out to you that you'll always remember? I'm gonna start with Nico.
I got a couple on, man. A couple Bulls moments. Well, I'm gonna start off with a Bulls moment. The series against Boston and Derrick Rose rookie year. What was that? 09. Yeah, the 09
yeah.
first round Boston against the Bulls.
Greatest playoff
Crazy,
series
man.
ever.
As a Bulls fan, bro, like that shit was crazy to see all them overtimes. A 7-game shit, and we wasn't supposed to
We
challenge
were supposed to get swept.
Exactly. And then this was Derrick Rose rookie year. I always been a Derrick Rose fan, bro. So to see Derrick Rose go crazy, it's like not even forget the whole series. Like I'm basically the game that meant a lot was the first one when Derrick Rose tied the record with Kareem for the most points by a rookie and bust their ass. Man, that shit had me so happy, bro. Like being from Chicago, I felt so good to be a basketball player from Chicago to see Derrick Rose do it like how any nigga from Chicago would have did it. And then I'm gonna say, I know y'all probably feel the same. The Kobe against Utah, man.
Hell yeah, man.
The Kobe putting 60. Like I was on the bus coming home from work. I was on that bitch finna cry. Grown man finna cry, bro, seeing Kobe put 60 on them boys. So it was bittersweet. Me losing my favorite player and him going crazy, though. I'm like, man, Kobe just need to. At that point, I wanted Kobe to lead the Lakers, man, to go to another team and get a ring for that last year. Like, that shit hurt my heart to see him leave, but it was so cold, bro. So yeah, them two moments from like two of my favorite players to just see them go crazy, yeah, that meant a lot. One of my favorite moments.
That was the most Kobe way to go out, wasn't it?
Of course.
Shoot every damn thing.
Get out the way. And that's crazy. Like Kobe, the first time in his career, they like, no, shoot. Shoot.
And he said that shit after the game. He was like, all my career, they've been telling me I need to pass it, but tonight they tell me, no, you shoot it.
That shit was dope,
I love
man.
that shit, man. Bobby?
Because I'm such a fan, I can give you like a quick handful. Number one to me was definitely, though, like I could say number one with a bullet, was Ben Gordon giving that 42 off the bench during that same series versus Boston.
Crazy. I love that one too, bro. I love Ben Gordon. Y'all know.
That was game 2. I was watching that game live on my with my G. Like that was the series. I was like, okay, this is how I know I love this basketball, and this is how I know I'm also a homer too, because he made me believe that we had a chance, and we low key did because we lost that game. Not that game, but that series by like 6 points on some bogus refereeing. I really feel like the league didn't want us to go to the second round. They wanted Boston to win.
Just like LeBron against Indiana.
My other one, the T-Mac 33, not 33, 13 and 33 seconds. I was watching that game live too. Yeah. To me, that was nuts. Watching that as a kid, freshman year in high school. Oh my God! Like
I'm so glad I didn't turn away from that game.
And to me, that was right before like his decline due to injuries. Like to me, like that was him still at the peak of his powers. Oh my God! To see that game live. Oh my God! You know, I went to school the next day talking big shit.
Look.
The next one, recent memory. This is probably the last game I can think of off the top of my head that I went like super like fanboy crazy, which was that 44 that Steph hit in OKC about 4 years ago.
That shit was so crazy.
To me, that is the greatest regular season game I have ever seen from start to finish. Because the way him and KD, the entire game was just exchanging haymakers.
Man, going at it, you hear me?
Like Steph would hit a three, KD would come down, hit a three. Ross to dunk on somebody. Then Iguodala get a steal, throw to Steph. Because Steph hit like 12 threes that game.
12 exactly.
And then he would have had about like 50, 60, but like remember, he got hurt midway through the game. And he missed like a good chunk of the third quarter, came back in, got right back to it.
Like, ain't shit happened.
Like, ain't nothing happened. I remember at the end of the game, it seemed like it was over because they was down like 5. Yeah, it was down like 5, something like that, with like a minute left.
KD had hit that 3 to put them up 5.
Yeah. No, they was down 4. And then KD hit that 3. And then Clay came down, hit an and 1. And then they got a steal off KD right after that. Iguodala hit a couple of free throws, they go to OT. KD fouled out in OT, I think like the first minute or so. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Russ the only one. If Russ be Russ, we got this. But Russ was perfect Russ, so like he just started exchanging haymakers with Steph now. Then Russ forced up that double team 2-pointer. I remember like yesterday.
Russ gonna Russ.
Iguodala caught the rebound. I remember like it was yesterday. I'm at the ball with my OG. Not my OG, my homie, my roommate. He my roommate now. Iguodala gets the ball. I grab my boy's shoulder. I say, please let Steph just raise up wherever he catches. They give it to Steph. Up to that point, I've been watching Steph since 2012. Up to that point, whenever he dropped the 54 in the guard, he catched the rebound. I didn't watch enough games to know. You can tell when he finna just pull up because he'll start slowing down, getting his steps right, getting his feet right. So I'm like, he ain't never finna pull up from the logo. Gee, when he gathered the ball before the shot even went up, I say, "Oh, we up out of here." See, he raised up. I remember clear as day. I looked towards the Thunder bench. You can see into his character putting his hands up like, "What are y'all doing?"
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he was like, "Oh my god, really?"
He cashed that bitch out. I remember it was like it was yesterday. I ran around the entire bar, said, "Fuck it, I'm buying drinks for everybody." Like, gee, I was on at that point.
I was blue.
At that point, light skinned niggas was up. You couldn't tell me nothing.
I'm this light skinned bastard. Shot that bitch right there.
Yeah, you couldn't tell me nothing. He was everything positive in the book. He was the best player in the world, the greatest ever, king of the light skins. He was all that. You couldn't tell me not a word.
A nerve to question his unanimous MVP
Hey,
that year. Man, go.
Nerve.
And then he teed up after he traded that bitch, y'all. He teed up, got
as he should have.
Hey, he got the crib walking and whatnot. I'm like,
that feels wrong.
What is he doing? You couldn't tell me.
Is that the biggest shot in regular season history?
It might be.
I'm gonna say yes.
I feel like that was the shot that made KD say, "I'm going over there." I feel like that was the shot that made the league say, "Okay, we got to shoot more threes." Like I feel like that changed the whole course of NBA history.
Definitely pulled that bitch, bro.
And then my last one is the 45 Bron had in Boston, Game 6, when he was with Miami in 2012. As far as a playoff game go, to me that was the greatest playoff game I've ever seen. Because remember, up to that point he hadn't won, and remember he went down in that series 3-2 to Boston. And I remember for 2 days, all on talk media was.
Yeah, he went stupid that game. I just had to think.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, he went crazy.
I remember on First Take and all them. Undisputed wasn't a thing back then, but it was First Take. It was NBA Countdown. It was Michael Wilbon shows like that. Everybody was saying, "Bron done for. It's over with. His legacy. He ain't that. You can't put him. He ain't the best player in the world." Like I was hearing everything in the book. And I remember clear as day.
Y'all boy came at his head though. Y'all boy Paul Pierce hooped that game. He ain't go.
He had 30 at the half and had only missed one shot. He was 10 for 11 with 30 at the half. It was none of that talking that Bron do. It wasn't that smiles he do. He wasn't passing like that. It was straight business. I'm here to hoop. Nothing more, nothing less.
My boy.
And he was like, every shot was better than the next. He's shooting wherever he catching it. Post up, double teams, raising up. One dribble handoffs. He was a man possessed. And up to that point, I had never seen him like that. And like I
He
said,
should have always been to me.
with that pressure he had on him on that day, I'll never forget that one. That's when I was like, oh yeah, he got it now. It's a wrap for the rest of you niggas.
I was blue, man. I did not like the Heat. I became a LeBron fan when his ass came back to Cleveland. So I know I was sick. Like, come on, Boston. How the fuck is y'all up 3-2 at the crib?
He changed how he played. He started facilitating. At that point, he was pure scorer.
Yeah. The league lucky. Like, if that was LeBron every night, man, he'd be challenging Mike.
That's what I be saying. Like, he should have always been like that, in my opinion.
That ain't his game.
Because can't nobody stop him from doing what he want to do.
For sure.
It just ain't his game, bro. We talked about that, I think, last week. Like, it'd be a lot of guys. Like, yeah, that's going to lead into, you're right, yeah, one of the other topics. But a lot of guys could be scorers. They could be great players, but it's just how the game come to them naturally. It's to pass. It's to set other niggas up first, get points here and there. And LeBron James like a Scottie Pippen, but he just a better scorer. He have to score for his team.
I say all the time, the best way to describe LeBron is his greatest attribute is his passing and reading the floor, and him being the floor general. His side job is scoring because he just happens to have to score, and he just usually happens to be the best scorer on the team. But his natural instinct is to pass the ball.
Me at the very top is that Steph Curry shot in 2016, bro.
It gotta be.
It's at the very top. What made it even better was Mike Breen's call, bro. Like, he was hurt the fuck.
He gave the double bang. He don't do that for nobody.
Oh, what a shot from Curry. I'll never forget that fucking
that's
shot,
man.
It's the confidence that he pulled that bitch from how far he pulled it. Like, you know, when people usually shoot from that far, they heaving it. Man, he pulled that shit like a regular ass corner jump shot.
He knew it was good too. He was hard.
Yeah, he was on one that whole game, bro.
What if Steve Kerr would have called a timeout?
Low key, that's what I was saying. Like, it wasn't registering to me in my head at first. Like, this is Steph shooting it. I'm like, why this nigga call a timeout? He had like 3 extra seconds. But, you know, Steph was like, I'm Steph Curry, bitch. That's why. Light skin shit.
I got this, fellas.
That's how you know that's trust, man. The coaching staff, bro. He like, fuck it. I'm gonna let you do you. I trust you.
How many times I've seen Steve Kerr be like, what the fuck are you doing? Okay, never mind.
Hey, once a game. Once a game.
Like I spoke on before, that Kobe dunk over Emeka Okafor. I'm never gonna forget that.
Oh,
because I don't even remember Okafor being in the league no more after that. He ended that man's whole career. Definitely the Kobe last game in Utah. You say you almost cried. I did. I always knew I would when Kobe retired. I knew I was gonna cry. Just like I said, if he ever passed, I was gonna cry like a baby. And both times I did. Y'all gonna find this one funny. When Brandon Ingram got on that with James Harden.
I was trying to think of a moment that I love to see when two guys got into it. I couldn't think of
because Brandon Ingram reminded me so much of me if I'm up at the park and a nigga keep calling foul. I get just like that. Like, bro, you ain't finna keep calling all these bitch ass fouls.
See, I ain't know he was doing moments like that.
Hey, man. That's one of my favorites, bro. And then to top it all off, Rondo stole on CP3 ass, and I always hated CP3. Up to that point, I never liked CP3. So I was glad to see somebody put hands on him. He spit on him and stole on him. Like, how much more disrespectful can you get than spitting in a nigga face and then stealing on him?
Oh my God. That's a tough list.
When Dallas beat Miami in 2011, I ran up and down the block, happy as fuck. All of LeBron's finals losses are my favorite moments.
No, that's foul.
Yep, I said it.
That's foul.
Yeah, you foul for that.
I hate you more than that. That's foul.
Oh man, I know. I never liked LeBron. I'm cool with him now. I kind of like LeBron now, but
because he gave you that ring and Kobe on him.
That's the only reason. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Because if he had lost that ring, man, it wasn't gonna be no coming back for him. Especially to just Jimmy Butler. Boy, look here. Oh, and related to some of those LeBron's finals losses is both of KD's shots in both game threes of 17 and 18.
That's fucked up.
Right, goddamn, man. Yeah, you just kind of fucked me up
You
with
were
that.
for real, huh?
No, them shots was lit though. At 17, he drained it over LeBron, right? So at
It
18,
was
they
lit, but
basically
damn.
in the same position. But I think Golden State was up 3 at the time. They was like trying to put the game away. And LeBron switches Rodney Hood onto KD. He was like, "No, I'm cool. You can have it."
He fucked Rodney Hood up.
Hey,
Man,
lit.
come
That's
on,
how it went
man.
too. eh?
He had LeBron ISO'd up top. And LeBron backpedaled and patted Rodney Hood on the shoulder, like, "Hey, come
No,
get
he
him."
didn't. They ran a pick and roll. They ran a screen and roll, and LeBron just easily didn't fight
No,
over
they
it.
didn't run no real pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
They
wasn't a
were. He
real
could have
pick,
easily
but
fought
it was
over
a
that.
brush off. He brushed it. It was
He
like
was
a
like,
little
"Nope."
brush. Yeah, it was like I'm not gonna
He
lie,
said
bro.
it was
He was like, no, I'm gonna let you handle this. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Bogus as hell. That's why it wasn't because it was KD like doing that shit to LeBron though. For it was specifically that moment where LeBron was like, "I'm cool." That shit had me crying, bro. Oh man, that D Rose dunk over Goran Dragic, bro, when he was like in his prime.
Hey, I was watching that live.
Oh my god, dude. When Stacey King was like, "I want to go higher."
What are you doing, Patrick?
I didn't see that one in person, but I saw the
Oh,
D
man.
Rose dunk on Joel Anthony when he split the double team in the playoffs.
Oh
and
yeah,
poked.
he crunched him.
Man, that shit had me like I was speechless. That's that got to be one of my moments too. That shit had me speechless. Yeah, you're right. The D Rose posters.
Oh, man, cocked that bitch back and just, you feel me?
And you could see him
Killed.
rolling up for it too. That was crazy part. Like you saw him catch it, look
The
at
whole
grab
time
it.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Dragic, don't do it.
Don't jump.
Don't do it.
He shouldn't even be in the league no more.
Are you about to get baptized?
Oh my god.
Crazy.
He thought he was finna do with Derrick Rose. He actually jumped.
Yeah, like what he thought, Joe. When you really think about it, like what did you think you was finna do?
you had 0%
Derrick
chance
Rose,
of blocking his
man.
shot, bro. He was looking down at him when he dunked on him. He was looking on the back of that nigga head.
That shit gave him a boost. Like when
Right.
his body hit him, it made Derrick Rose go higher.
Just
Finish
bounced off
him.
his little skinny ass. And just to top it off, MJ's last shot with the Bulls.
Respect. We don't use enough MJ moments, but respect, because I remember that. That's one MJ moment I remember being a kid, like watching it. Like, yeah, that was tough. Yeah, we got to start getting MJ his respect.
We were spoiled in the 90s, bro. Because
Yeah,
I legit used to like barely watch some of their regular season games because, like, man, how let me when the finals come? Because I knew we was going to the finals. That's how spoiled we was. We used to riot in the city for no reason. Like, we should have been used to it. Every time they won, they was looting and rioting for no reason.
It's like it was natural, bro. Like that was, yeah, we was spoiled. I never thought about it like that. Like that was when the summer come, we go out and party when the Bulls win. Like this is some shit that just happen every year.
Right. Like this is just a part of everyday life. And look at our sports teams now. Shout out to my Cubs though. I ain't gonna never forget that shit. Unrelated to basketball, but another one of the moments that made me cry.
Wait, before
you cry for the Cubs?
Man, when the Cubs won that World Series, bro, I was in here like a little wham baby. I'm trying to tell you.
Man, when they won, it was a regular day for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't show up to no parades, none of that. No, but wait, before we get off topic, because this is still on topic to me, because I didn't know we was doing those kind of moments. So I got one more to add in there.
All right.
Do y'all remember? It's on the top of the dome. I don't remember the exact team. I just know it was the Clippers. But I know y'all remember the whole what's it called?
Are you talking about DeAndre Jordan dunking on Brandon Knight?
No, it wasn't nothing like that. It wasn't an actual play. It was low key like the things that happened after the game. It was a Clippers game.
Oh, Clippers against Houston went.
Oh, yeah. When James Harden was trying to send it up.
Yeah, and it was like the whole secret hallway, secret passageway
Chris
thing.
Paul tried to go in they locker room.
Yeah. It was the Clippers versus Houston. Now I remember. Yeah. I know y'all remember that, and like it's had NBA. They had to call the police.
Hey, Chris, I get to hear Chris Paul and I'm like, hey man, I know how we could get to them niggas. It's this little secret hallway over here. That nigga Austin Rivers ain't no shit. I'll knock his little ass out.
They say Chris Paul, no, because they say Blake Griffin called the police on Chris Paul.
Low key, you right. That was funny as hell.
Yes, man.
And they went on TV. They was like, I ain't never heard the term police presence used in a post game interview.
Chris Paul and Trevor Ariza was on that.
Oh my god! They say Arthur Rivers left for security and whatnot. I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, he was the one who started all the shit.
His daddy probably was son. Get in that car, son.
Why you come over here messing with these nice people?
Oh man, I thought it ended up. That was like an all-time night for me because I hadn't even seen the game, but I'd heard so much about what was going on. I tuned in and caught it as it was happening.
Look, let me throw mans in then. Because I thought about the fights, that type of shit, but I couldn't think about one at that moment. And I don't know why I didn't think about this one because I spoke on the series. Where Kirk Henry squared up with Rondo. In the 09 playoffs, the best playoff series of all time. We got overtimes and we got that square up. Man, Joe, that shit was
Kirk
crazy.
Man.
But they ain't touch each other up. But Kirk Henry wanted that. He wanted him one. He had time today.
I love Kirk Henry. Kirk can play on my team any day of the week.
Yes, man, he can play on my team.
Because he had that. By that point, he was full-blooded Chicago.
I'll put him on anybody. He could guard anybody. I don't care who we going against. You can guard any point guard in the league history. You can guard him, Kirk. We'll guard anybody else.
6'4", long ass arms, quick as hell on defense.
Yeah. Underrated.
This is probably going to be the last topic we talk about for this episode. And I want to know if you could choose one player from the past, just one, to play in today's NBA, who would it be and why? Bobby, I'm going to start with you.
I'm going to say T-Mac all day, every day. I feel like if he played in this era, not even because of his ability, but the mindset that these players are in, where it's like that loyalty to the GM and all that is dead now. Now it's players doing what's best for them in their careers. I feel like T-Mac, one of them players who would have benefited greatly from that, because if you follow T-Mac, you listen to all his interviews, he said all the time that he stayed. He wished he hadn't been drafted to the Raptors because his first 2 years he had a coach that hated him. If you listen to him talk about the Orlando Magic days, he said all the time that he stayed there too long because he gave his best careers for a franchise who really wasn't interested in building around him. They were just waiting for Grant Hill to get healthy. That's part of the reason why he left in 2005. And I feel like if he played in today's era, where it's player empowerment, like he could have, after he got drafted to the Raptors and his contract is up, instead of going to Orlando, like during that time, you could see him going somewhere like the Spurs because he wanted to play with Tim. You could see him going somewhere.
Should have been playing with Duncan too, man.
You can see him going to the Lakers because he loved Kobe. Him and Kobe was basketball brothers, which I didn't even know until after Kobe retired. He said all the time that he would have loved to play with Shaq and Kobe. So it's like we would look at T-Mac so much differently if players had that mindset of, I'm not finna sit here and play for a GM who ain't doing nothing for me when I can go over here where they building around stuff, where they giving you what you asking for. I really wish that he would have played like in today's era just for that reason alone. We know he gonna hoop. We know his numbers gonna be astronomical if he played in today's era. Because if he giving you 32 a night in that slow paced early 2000s era with no spacing, like if you watch some games, he ain't got no spacing. He basically shooting a double team every night, and he still giving you 32 on 45% shooting. He easily doing about 38 on like 53% shooting in today's game. Because today's game is basically just one-on-one, you shooting threes. Like, if you give him what Harden had about 2 years ago in Houston.
Oh, my. Yeah, that team would have beat Golden State. I'm saying it right now.
Yes, that team. But if you take out Harden, put T-Mac on that roster, that play style with D'Antoni is tailor-made for T-Mac's game. Tailor-made. So you get him that, oh, my God. He might be averaging 40 a night. And I will stand by that statement. So yeah, my pick is definitely T-Mac for a multitude of reasons, but definitely those two that I just mentioned, right?
Nico.
I got a couple. Y'all know you know me, I hate the
Just
stretch fold.
one. Just
Nah,
one.
I got a couple. I got two. I'm gonna give you two. Y'all know I hate the stretch folds. But back in the day, the first stretch fours would have been perfect for this era. Rashard Lewis.
Yeah.
If Rashard Lewis is in the NBA now, he'll be probably a 25, 26 point scorer.
Yeah.
And then the next one of my favorite players, Andre Karolinko.
AK-47.
See, I think he would have been perfect because he could play both ends. The man,
He'll be a
I
max
think
out right now.
yeah, he'll be a max player. He led the league in blocks, averaging 3.3 in the 04-05 season. This coming from your small forward. Like, it's too versatile, bro. Blocks, steals, a few assists, maybe 3 a game, 15 points, 8 rebounds. Like, you can't beat it. Put him at the 4 nowadays, I think he'll be probably a 18, 8 and 4 every night. 2 steals, 2 blocks.
I think he'll be like a better scoring version of Draymond.
Yeah, less facilitating.
Yeah, more
and
scoring.
more scoring. And I like him better defensively than Draymond. Block shot,
Ooh,
and he in the pass because he long. Draymond long too, but bro, the blocks and the steals, that's enough for me.
I don't know, because Draymond can disrupt, like, as far as defensively, he can disrupt like I've never seen it. I've been watching basketball my whole life.
Yeah, you're right. I just watched him the other day when they played Philly, like slow Embiid down a little bit. And he's 6'7", so yeah, Draymond Green do his thing too. They different. I like turnovers. I like turnovers more. I will put them two together, but you get turnovers, it's more points for you. So I'll take the turnovers more than like the pure stops.
I don't think you could go wrong if you got either one of them on your team, though.
Yeah.
I was just giving you shit about naming more than one because I also have more than one.
But them my two. That's all I had.
We'll throw one out here for y'all first. Arvydas Sabonis, bro. He was, to me, the first Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
We didn't see him. The NBA didn't see his pure potential either.
We didn't even get his prime. By the time he came to Portland, he was in his 30s. He spent the majority of his prime in Europe.
Yep.
Now, if he decided, like, if he was in the NBA today and he decided to spend all his prime years in the NBA, bro, we'll be talking about him as one of the best big men of all time.
I agree.
And one of the few people during that era who gave Shaq fits when he was guarding him, because he would love to take a charge on him. Him and Vlade Divac used to always do that. Take charges on Shaq and piss him off.
And Shaq said too. Shaq loved giving him credit.
Yo, Arvydas was nasty, bro. His passing IQ was off the charts. He 20 and 10 every night, and in his prime, he probably like 28 and 14.
Yes, sir.
And a couple blocks. Like, yeah, that's Jokic on steroids. And another player who I feel like don't get the credit he should, but if he played in today's era, I think we'll really get to see his full package, is John Stockton. John Stockton, for one, he's like the best pure point guard, one of the best pure point guards you could ever have. On top of that, he's
point guard.
On top of that, man,
I don't feel like he was. I feel like, to me, he was. To me, he was a Caruso who starts. That's all he was to me.
Oh, see,
what?
This is what I'm saying. You see the disrespect. All-time leader in assists and steals.
Come on. It's no reason they was a team.
Averaging double digits.
Wait. Did you say John Stockton or John Starks?
I said John Stockton.
Oh, I heard Starks. Okay, never mind. You
John
got it.
Starks.
You got it.
I was trying to say the blasphemy.
John Stockton would have been, like I said, Sabonis was Jokic on steroids. I think John Stockton would have been like Steve Nash on steroids.
Oh no, you're correct.
And then add the defensive element to it too. Bro, he winning MVPs. I think he would have won a couple MVPs if he played in today's league. Because he going to give you, like, factor in the pace of today's game. His scoring is going up from like 17, 18 to like 25. And on top of that, he's still going to get you like 12, 13 assists a game, 2 steals.
He'll be putting up Trae Young numbers right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really speak about John Stockton when they talk about the greats. But he a top 5 point guard all time to me. maybe top 3.
He top 3. He on that motherfucker.
I don't know. It's just with him. It's just for me. It's who would I pick in the park if I had all the point guards? Who go play? Who am I? Who go get picked last? And he kind of in that category of who
Little
will get
skinny
picked
white
last.
guy. Of course, you go pick him last.
Because it's like, is you gonna pick him over Gary Payton?
Yes, I am.
I'm not taking him over Gary Payton.
I am.
Definitely. In a heartbeat. And as Rob would say, twice on Sunday.
Hey, you hear me?
And then what about Isaiah Thomas?
Yes. Fuck Isaiah Thomas.
See,
you know I
it's
don't
probably
like him.
preference because I would pick him over Isaiah.
I'm the wrong person to ask that because I fucking hate Isaiah Thomas.
I don't hate Isaiah, but I'm not taking him over John Stockton. Me personally.
I'll take John up there.
Like it's only like 3 point guards I'll say definitively I'll take over him. Steph Curry,
Prime
Magic
Derrick Rose.
Johnson. Not even prime Derrick Rose. I mean, bias, yes, give me D Rose over him, but
no, I'm taking the MVP Rose over him. Period. MVP Rose get him 30.
It's gonna be a tough 30 if he do. Stockton gonna make
Of course,
it work.
but he go get him 30, and he go dunk on Carmelo.
They had to throw that in there, huh? Got to dunk on Karl Malone. I wanted to bring up Reggie Miller, but I feel like everybody know what he'll be.
I wasn't gonna say him, but yeah, he would. I think he would average more points because it's more threes, but it's Reggie.
But yes, Sabonis and Stockton, them my two, bro. Mostly Sabonis, especially since we ain't got that many big men in the game, like dominant big men. So I love to see another one.
No, wait. Bring it back to me because I didn't know we were doing 2. I only did.
I mean, originally it was supposed to be 1, but
really quickly because I gotta throw him out there because I feel like when we talk about the best scorers, we don't hear his name enough. But I'm gonna say The Rock, Mitch Richmond.
Oh,
if he played in today's era instead of the '90s, he would be talked about as one of the best 2 guards to ever play the game. Because essentially all he was what Bradley Beal is now, just slightly more efficient.
And strong as a fucking ox.
I was just about to say, but the difference was he was bigger, he was stronger though. His game was essentially the same though, but he was bigger, stronger, and he played defense. You know, Bradley Beal can't guard a park car, but you know what I'm saying. And it's like you get him today's spacing, today's pace and space, run up and down the court. Like this is tailor made for him. This game is really tailor made for a lot of shooters and ISO players and shot creators, but I feel like he most definitely would benefit.
He's like a pure 2 guard, bro. Like if they had a picture of 2 guards back in the day, he won those.
Yes. Because to me in the '90s, if I can't get Mike, I won't Mitch Richmond. Me personally, it's my 2 guard. To me, he gave you everything Mike gave you, minus the defense. Like he could defend, but he wasn't Mike on defense. But it's like if you can't get Mike, and you need a complete 3-level scorer who can do it on all 3 levels. After Mike, it was him, to me.
I agree.
I have to think about that one a little bit.
I agree, because I'm not a Clyde Drexler fan.
Clyde couldn't do it on all 3 levels to me. His thing was driving and finishing. Like, he couldn't shoot.
He couldn't shoot
like Mitch could.
He couldn't shoot threes. He could shoot mid-range, just not threes.
But like I'm saying, 3 levels, though. He 2.5. Like, Mitch did all 3. Hell, you could argue that Mike wasn't a 3-level scorer. Because Mike didn't really shoot threes anyway. And then when he started trying to, he really wasn't that great at it. He was only
I think Mike needed to shoot threes. He would have shot threes.
Yeah, I think Mike could have, because Mike hit big threes. Like, I've watched a lot of Mike finals, all the finals they was in. Mike hit threes when they needed them. Like, he'll jack that bitch when they need it. But other than that, no, it wasn't in his game.
I'm not saying that he couldn't shoot threes. Obviously, Mike can shoot wherever he catches the ball. But what I'm saying is that's not his strength. Like, he'll be like an average 3-point shooter. Like, he'll be like a LeBron level shooter. He won't be like a Reggie or a KD level shooter.
Yeah, of course.
I agree, yeah. But LeBron hit push threes.
So that's what I'm saying. Mitch Richmond, he's shooting threes to the level of Dame, how he shoots threes. Not as far as he goes out, but like he's a solid 38, borderline 40% shooter.
Yeah, knockdown shooter.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Fuck it, throw Penny Hardaway in there too.
No, Penny wasn't shooting like that, but
no, I'm talking about for just playing in today's NBA. Throw Penny in there too.
Oh, for sure. I love Penny.
We could name a couple of guys, man. What if Chris Webber and Rasheed Wallace played in this time?
I think his career would have been low key the same.
Who?
Rasheed Wallace. Maybe some more points.
Man, Rasheed would be Bro, Rasheed had it all. The post game, he had it all, bro. And he wasn't a bad defender. She would have been nice for a team right now. Think about she with the Warriors.
Okay, if you put it like that, you put him with the Warriors, then yeah.
Think about she with LeBron.
It's busting.
Think about she with Brooklyn right now. Any of the contenders, bro. Think about him on the team with the Suns team right now. They'll be a brick. Perfect.
So yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up right here, y'all. Thank y'all for watching I'm Just Saying podcast. Be sure to like and comment who you would want to see playing in today's NBA. And subscribe if you haven't. And we'll catch y'all next week.
Like and subscribe, share, follow us on IG, Parking Lot Pull Up 3. Thank you.